Welcome to CBT News with Bridget Fitzpatrick.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome back to CBT News. I'm Bridget Fitzpatrick. Thank you so much for joining us today. Coming up on Inside Automotive is Brian Finkelmeyer, Senior Director of New Vehicle Solutions for Cox Automotive. But first, here are today's top stories. General Motors has temporarily paused paid advertising on Twitter after Tesla CEO Elon Musk assumed ownership of the company this past Friday. In an email statement, GM said it was, quote, engaging with Twitter to understand the direction of the platform under their new ownership, calling the decision a, quote, normal course of business when there is a significant change in a media platform. The email did say the company would continue its customer care interactions on Twitter. Most automakers currently have a presence on the social media platform, although not all of them utilize paid advertising. EV maker Nikola announced it is working with KeyState Natural Gas Synthesis to create Pennsylvania's first low-carbon hydrogen production supply. Nikola also said it was working on securing a definitive agreement with a hydrogen producer to expand the supply for Nikola's fuel cell electric vehicles. Nikola, which is building a hydrogen fuel cell electric semi-truck, said KeyState plans to supply the company with up to 100 tons per day of low-carbon hydrogen, enough to supply fuel for up to 2,500 Nikola FCEVs. The KeyState site is over 7,000 acres and should be operational by 2026. Mopar, the after-sales brand of Jeep maker Stellantis, will be attending the Specialty Equipment Market Association show this week in Las Vegas to show 3 new concept vehicles, including the Jeep CJ Surge Electromod concept, which in theory could convert classic or newer vehicles into EVs. Currently, Electromods can cost tens of thousands of dollars, with most of the cost related to the battery packs. Kia is updating the Telluride, its popular 3-row SUV model. The 2023 Telluride has a list of new features, including multiple trim levels, upgraded capabilities, and driver assist features. Starting prices for the Telluride jumped about $2,000 across the line for the 2023 model, and its 2 new off-road variations, the X-Line and X-Pro, are all available in all-wheel drive only. The 2023 Telluride is available in dealerships now. Don't go anywhere. Coming up next is Cox Automotive Senior Director of New Vehicle Solutions, Brian Finkelmeyer. We'll be right back.
CBT News, 10 years strong.
Today on Inside Automotive, we're joined in the studio by Brian Finkelmeyer, Senior Director of New Vehicle Solutions at Cox Automotive, to discuss the latest trends in the new and used car markets. Take a look.
What are you hearing out there about the new car business?
Well, Jim, I think it is, this month kind of marks perhaps a turning point, I think, in the business that we've seen here. We've kind of all gotten happy with full sticker and sell to zero and right. Lots of being, exactly. Empty largely. And it's at this exact moment where manufacturing has really started to rebound. And in fact, last month they produced almost as many cars as they were producing before the pandemic.
Really?
So about 1.5 million before the pandemic.
Yeah.
Last month, about 1.39 million.
Okay. Yeah, you're
so
in the
just
hunt.
a little bit behind. But so at this exact moment in time where we begin getting some daylight on the production, right. We're starting to see some softening on the demand side as consumers are being pressed with rising costs of living, food, and gas, and the interest rates continue to climb. And I think the Fed has signaled that there might be more interest rates. And one of the things that's happened with that is just that the monthly payment of vehicles has become more expensive. We looked on just a Toyota RAV4 year over year, the same exact car is about $55 a month more expensive this year than it was a year ago.
Yeah. Not totally a deal breaker, but I think also peppered in there too, as one friend of mine said. He said, my wife and I are doing great. We're making a lot of money and everything's great. He goes, but we are concerned about this looming recession. Bloomberg came out yesterday and said, 100% chance there's going to be a recession, right? Yeah. And I don't mean to be a naysayer out there, guys and girls that are listening to me and Jim's talking about recession. However, we have to be a realist about this, right? And that might be the case, right? It looks like with Bloomberg, they said, no, it's going to be the case. It's just a question of when, not if. But that being said, there's some apprehension on behalf of consumers today that go, well, things are good for me right now, but I don't know that they're going to be good for me 6 months from now, right?
Yeah, and what's interesting is they track consumer sentiment of just American consumers' feelings about the future. And if you look at that graph back in March of 2020, right when COVID hit, it dropped down to 80.2.
Right.
Well, today it's actually lower, just a little bit lower than what it was even in March of 2020.
Wow.
So I think there's a lot of trepidation out there in the marketplace right now where consumers are becoming a little bit cautious and, as you said, a little concerned about what the next 6 to 12 months might bring.
Right. So you think dealers are actually going to have to discount off of MSRP?
Well, you know,
sticker price.
It's funny. I was talking to a friend of mine the other night who is a manufacturer rep, and he was saying that a lot of his dealers that used to have 8 to 10 cars in stock now have 50, 60 cars in stock.
Yeah.
Maybe by next month that might be 100 cars in stock.
Right.
So just as I said, as we begin to start seeing more cars on carrier trucks, is at the exact moment that things have begun to soften a little bit on the retail side.
All right, be sure to watch this interview in its entirety right here at cbtnews.com. That wraps up our show for today, but we invite you to join us back here again tomorrow morning for all the latest news and trends impacting the retail automotive industry. And be sure to follow us on TikTok, LinkedIn, Facebook, and Twitter. I'm Bridget Fitzpatrick. Thanks for watching, and have a great day.
Thanks for watching CBT News, the voice of the retail automotive industry. CBT News, 10 years strong.